I didn't even know I was on. What's up, everybody? Um, I don't. I didn't get a chance to finish all my news stuff this morning. I kept trying. I think I added time to when the live was going to start, and that still wasn't enough. But I mean, everything's bearish right now, so not many people talking about a lot. And I will say, first off, I got the word "lied" in my thumbnail, and I had to think about how people usually use that. So let me just say up front that it's not one of those stupid thumbnails where it's like they lied to us about making money and it's over. It's not that kind of thing, but they definitely lied to us. I'm about to this kind of pissed me off, if I'm being honest, but I can't feel any type of way about stuff that I didn't know. Um, all right, I'm gonna just blab today. I got a whole bunch of notes, but I don't probably have them in the order that I want to talk about them in. But let me just make sure I don't miss anything. I'm probably not going to pull any of these tabs up. I'm just write everything in one sentence notes and then talk about it. Oh, this one was crazy. This $121 million position that got liquidated today. And another thing I was saying, I saw this one. I wasn't gonna talk about, but whatever. This thing about I was telling y'all, like I keep saying, like months ago when I was talking about Thor, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's stupid," because all the big influencers are talking about it, and just been selling off. And then somebody sell like somebody sold a huge position this morning. I think it was like $1 million position or whatever, and they just like fat fingered that joint and just dumped it. It's a lot of stuff going on. I'm about to get there in a minute. One thing I will say that while I'm going through this, it made me happy. I'm not gonna lie, because I like when scammers get caught. Like this, is this project a couple of months ago? I don't know if y'all remember. It was like 6-7 months ago. I don't know, something like that. Called ZK Casino, and this dude like rugged the project, and he just his $40 million position is almost getting liquidated. I think that's pretty much what he stole from the project. But that's why I be telling people, the people that don't believe in karma, they just keep up with their scamming ways. As long as they feel like they're getting ahead and they just sabotaging other people, they think they're sabotaging other people, but karma comes back. And I mean, you don't see it coming. You don't see it coming. It looks like the coast is clear. You smooth sailing, but yeah, maybe I shouldn't say that, but I am kind of happy because people gonna learn that karma's a real thing. Um, I don't care about this. Some more stuff about Mount Gox moving Bitcoin. All right. I feel like I'm missing something, but whatever. I'm sorry. I was up here trying to get through all this stuff, and I just kept pushing the time back for the live. Let me get into it anyway. If I miss something, I just missed something. But yeah, I didn't know I had that money. I already talked about the $120 million position guy liquidated. I just talked about the ZK Casino thing. Try to keep this short today and get to the main point. Let me talk about one thing that I already kind of talked about before, and that's the crypto summit they had. Let me tell you what I think, and I'm gonna just go through. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna just get on through this. Man, I feel like there was just I call it the insider summit. Like I've been saying for months, I say everybody's doing something, and you got these different groups of people, whether it's regular retail, the big VCs in crypto. Then you got the outside people from TradeFi, and everybody's doing something different, and they're all getting confused about what's going on. I feel like this summer was just a time for them to come together and all talk and figure out how to insider trade and do stuff together. That's what I feel like it was. I should have put this in order. Let me see if I can do it with my eyes. This one thing I'll say up front, I'll say this up front as I get this in order, is something old that everybody was saying: time in the market beats timing the market. I'm gonna say this up front: the market is not over. In no stretch of the imagination, I think the market is over. But what you have to do now that stuff is getting bearish, this is not the time to be just like, well, man, I'm so tired of junk. Well, I'll just wait till it comes back. Stuff could happen so quick in this, and it could come back before you're ready. Is actually, while it's bears like this, is the time you should be paying the most attention for opportunities, or just staying in the market and don't get out and lose focus. I think I'm about to get to my main point. This might be shorter than I thought. And here's another, just a little encouragement, I guess. And this is for everybody because I think everybody's over the BS now, pretending that they did well and all this kind of crap. Everybody's kind of dropped the facade. So here's the thing you got to think about: when you bought it, the price you bought at what you felt like was a good price. You had no way of knowing unless you had a crystal ball that prices would be lower or that. Well, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. You could have something else besides a crystal ball, but anyway. But people get down on themselves. They're like, man, I bought at 80 cents or whatever, man. Now it's at 60 cents. Man, I should have known. How was you gonna know? You didn't know. So you got people beating themselves up because I could have got it at a better price or whatever. You look at the price you get in at, and you feel like you're gonna get some returns from that, and that's what you do. Even the other day, I think I told everybody I was like, I'm not gonna. And I'm gonna tell you how I front ran this dump in a minute because I said this last week. Nobody can say I lied about it. I told you this dump was coming this week, but I'm gonna say a lot more about that. But so anyway, I said I was going to buy into after the dump. Then I put out a alert about a buy alert, and I put 50% in of what I was going to buy of that project. And I said because at this point, I'm looking at where it can go from here. So I'm cool with where this can go from here. So I'm going to put 50%. So if I was going to put $1,000 in, I put $500 in. If you're going to put 10,000 in, you would put 5,000 in. Half of what you're going to put in. I said at this point, I'm cool at putting this in right here. I know it can probably go lower because I already told you that this dump was going to come. So I knew the dump was coming and the price of that token could go lower, but I was fine putting 50% in there, and then we'll see where we go from there. So you can't be beating yourself up because the price went lower than what you expected. And man, I bought it this price and look where it's at now, whatever. All right, cool. So we got that out the way. Is the sound back? Is all right. Look, y'all. I know somebody will say, "Oh, fix that." Block. There's nothing to fix, man. Sometimes the streaming software just acts stupid. There's nothing that went wrong over here. None of the batteries went out. No, I don't know. It's stupid. I feel like like I said, as soon as I get ready to talk about important stuff, then the sound goes out. Is the sound back? Let me know if the sound's back because we're gonna get into this important stuff and I'm out of here. Um, There's literally, it just sometimes it does something stupid. There's nothing else to say about it. Let me know in the comments if the sound is bad because I'm about to get into the most important part. All right, cool. Listen, there's nothing I can do about it. Um, all right, so what I was saying was I clearly told you last week. And I said in the group, I said anybody could, try to seem all macho or like they got alpha and try to predict the pump or dump. If the pump or dump doesn't happen, then they act like they never said anything. And if it does happen, then they say, I told you so. Last week, that's not what I was trying to do when I told you this dump was coming this week. But here's another important part that I'm going to get to. So I was saying earlier that I said you couldn't predict the stuff if you had a crystal ball and all that kind of stuff. Yes, I say that quite a bit on my channel, right? And so what I told you, I said, if you remember, what did I say? I can't even say I told you so because what I told you, I said the end of this week. Then I said the end of this week. So I'm not going to lie and say, I said, I said the end of this week. What does that let you know? That lets you know whatever I told you, the guys that I thought I found, and I can't speak too much on it yet because I'm still watching it. I don't want to be one of those things where you start talking too fast before you watch it. But anyway, what I found that I was telling y'all last week means somebody else knows about it too, right? Y'all got to really pay attention to this. It's really important. So what I thought I found last week that I made my last stream about, you probably should go watch it. I said the end of this week that we're in, the market is going to dump. If it's dumping at the beginning of the week, that means I was right and somebody knew and they front ran it. Another point I want to make is I keep seeing people say every time this happens, and I saw a lot of people saying this morning, wow, y'all know I'm going with this. Warren Buffett is such a smart investor. This is why Warren Buffett is the smartest investor. Warren Buffett is not a smart investor. Warren Buffett has inside information and he knows what's going on. And so the next thing I'm going to tell to you about. So when I made that stream last week, and I was saying this 8-10 months ago. I said, hey, this year, when we talking about 2024, in 2024, I would come on my channel. I keep telling y'all, say, hey, the most important thing right now is to find good projects you believe in, blah, 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 that you can make good upside on, blah, blah, blah. I said it plenty of times last year. I said, but next year, I said, we're going to have to start paying attention more closely to where we are in the cycle and where we should be taking profits and getting out of the market. Now, granted, that's what I'm doing now, but I had no idea the market would look like this. So anyway, I started doing it last week. Actually, I've been doing it the whole probably last month and half of what month? The last half of January when I was really quiet, not putting out buy alerts and DCAs and stuff like that. This is what I was looking at. So last week I started kind of coming to a conclusion on what I thought I was seeing in patterns. Reached out to my boy. Let me tell you, this is why you got to have different friends. Everybody wants to come into the market, especially when they come into crypto. Everybody wants to listen to that alpha person who's like, I'm macho, I'm alpha, I'm big dog or whatever. The people you need, it's cool to have those friends too. What you need is what we call basement dwellers. That's those little friends that sit off to the side. They're not looking for no shine. They're not looking for attention. They're not trying to tell you what they know. They're not trying to be boisterous or egotistical or whatever. And so I reached out to his friend, and he tells you he's a what you call it, introvert, a serious introvert. So I said, this is what I'm looking at. I think I'm seeing something here. He just looks at it, just very calm. He's like, oh yeah, this is blah blah blah. Excuse me? Yeah, this is blah blah blah, and that they're doing this right here, and then over here back in the summer, in the fall, they did this and they did that. He just said it like it was nothing. So when I put in the thumbnail, they playing elementary games, bro. They have a whole system. I haven't worked it out. So let me slow down. Let me slow. So what he was saying was, and this would be in terms that y'all understand and stuff that everybody's been talking about. So when we were in the let me get my years right. This is 2000. When we were in the beginning of 2024, coming out of 2023 to 2024, everybody was saying the institutions are coming, Bitcoin ETFs are coming, right? And so when I say he lined this thing, y'all gotta pay attention to this. When I say he lined this thing up like it was nothing, he went back to 2023 and 2024, and he had different names for the different structures and patterns that they were using. And what happened is, I'm sorry, I always use analogies. Can y'all see? Let me pull up my monitor. So let's say if you're going on this wave pattern, let's call it the Wyckoff, because everybody always likes to throw out like, oh, this is the Wyckoff, whatever. So let's say it is the Wyckoff, and they're using the Wyckoff distribution, and then you got this one channel, and it goes up and it comes down. So this is it. I'm sorry, my hand is not that big, but this is it going up, and this is coming down. What he was saying, what they were doing is it was like
patterns that they were using crypto, and then he immediately saw when TradeFi come in, and so it would line up on that up and down here, but it would start a whole new pattern. And so he literally, let me tell y'all, without talking about interest rate cuts, without talking about Bitcoin ETFs, without talking about any of the stuff that we've been talking about, including me, he lined it up without any of that information. It's literally they're using patterns against us, bro. It's been pissed me off, if I'm being honest. And I can't explain to y'all how calm he was talking about this stuff. Just how calm he was, like, just matter of factly, like, yeah, that's what they doing. Yeah, that's cool. Because, and the thing is, this is why I tell y'all, stop listening to people that's hyping you up and trying to make you sad, because your emotions involved. The clearest mind you can have is when you don't care, because he absolutely does not care about crypto. He works in finances, but he's not invested in crypto. He's not even the type of person that's been trying to get rich. That's just what he works in. He works in his little office in his basement. He's just real chill. So he has no emotions tied to this stuff. And so when I'm looking at the stuff he's just spelling out, and pretty much exactly what I spelled out. So I spelled it out. I found out what I feel like I found. He lined it up and said it's true. And then I get on here this morning. I start looking at my news. I start watching different channels. That's what I do, whether y'all know it or not. Sometimes I wake up, I see y'all talking in the group, but I'm like looking at news stuff and I'm watching different channels. And when I say I watched two people go through they went through the ropes this morning. You could tell they got 20 different researchers they're using. And as they're talking, they're just like, yeah, the tariffs and the RSI and the ETFs, and they're putting all this stuff together. And it's none of that. It's exactly, I don't care what nobody say. Y'all can call me tinfoil hat. I really don't give a crap, because I've been saying this the whole cycle. They always tell you a reason why something's happening, and it's never the reason. What's happening is they got a pattern already drawn out, and they're making stuff fit in there. They're saying, this is the pattern, and over here, we're going to introduce tariffs right here. And this is what I keep telling people. I was saying this about politics and Trump and Biden and all this crap. Yo, I don't care what you believe in Trump, whether you think Trump is pumping your bags or dumping your bags. It ain't got nothing to do with Trump. It ain't got nothing to do with Biden. They are playing us like idiots, and they just got patterns that they're following. And they're just like, hey, man, we got the up point over here. We got the up point over here. So what we going to put here 3 weeks before? When I tell you, this man has not talked about, he didn't talk about tariffs, where the interest rate cuts was, where inflation was, where the CPI data is. But it's crazy that when I saw people streaming about it this morning and talking about CPI numbers, I'm like, you know what? They're actually accidentally right. They're actually accidentally right. And what's going to happen is it's going to make them feel like they were right. And they're going to be like, yeah, because this is what happened. Because when the tariffs came in, and this is what they're doing, and this is when Jerome Powell got to drop the interest rates. Bro, we all been played, and they've been playing this game probably for 100 years. And that's why Warren Buffett is the trader he is. It's not because he's a smart trader. It's because he knows the patterns. And as big as he is, he got to be up there enough to know the patterns. And when I'm telling y'all, I mean, that's what the stream is about. I ain't got nothing else to tell you, the fact that they're just playing games. And the only thing I can do going forward is try to, I even drop him a couple of dollars or whatever if I have to. I don't know, put him on my team or whatever. But when I say dude didn't even try, he put zero effort in. He just looked at it. He clicked some buttons on some charts. He sat there for about 3 minutes, looked again, lined it up again. And within 5 minutes, he drew out the whole freaking last 2023 to now and what we think is going to look like coming forward. Once again, I did see some people streaming this morning, but all the stuff that they were putting together to come to the same conclusion that he came to in 4 minutes is just like, it's all a game, bro. It's all a game. And if you sit here and say, here he go on his tinfoil hat again. How many of you, if you haven't seen the clip, go watch the clip of Trump signing the strategic the executive order for the strategic reserve. I'm gonna say this again. I said this 1,000 times. You come into the market and you may get in my group or somebody else's group, and because you come in saying, I don't know anything. Let me see what CryptoZoe is saying. Let me see what this person is saying. But you're now at a point where you know more than most people, even though you don't realize it. Go look at Trump's face when he signed the strategic reserve. There's nothing on his face that says, I know what I'm doing right now. He has absolutely no idea what he's doing. He's even talking to David Sachs, and he's like, this is something you believe in, blah, 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 blah. Okay. All right, cool. Then I signed the paper. So for people to be saying Trump is making moves, Trump is pumping the market, Trump is dumping the market, bro, The president is a fall guy. The president has no power. There's no such thing as a president. This is all BS, bro. I'm trying to tell you. You can click off if you want and say I'm being stupid, bro. It's bull crap, man. There's no such thing as a president. The president is just a fall guy, or the good guy that gets the praise for everything, bro. It's just a mascot. I've been saying this the whole cycle, bro. Looking at him sign that executive order, I've been knew it. I've been saying it for months, but watching the aloofness or whatever you want to call it, his face was dumbfounded. He had no idea what he was doing. He's not making moves for us. It's just a fall guy, bro. It's just a fall guy. And like I said, just seeing me, and like I said, I had been doing this since probably the middle of January, trying to come to this conclusion to figure out where the cycle was going next. It took me six to 7 weeks to come to my conclusion, just to sit down with my boy for him to do this in 3.5 to 4 minutes, and just like with no effort at all, just look at a couple of charts and like, yeah, I recognize this pattern. Okay, yeah, that's that. Okay, yeah, okay, that's that, and that's when they overlapped. Yeah, that's what happened. And it was not like, while I like, did I do something good? Like, you know how when kids do something and you like, yay, you clap for him. He wasn't even looking for any praise. He was just like, yeah, this is, yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay, I didn't do anything. Like, this is just a pattern. Like, what's the big deal? We being played, bro. We being straight up played. Anyway, get to the next point. I want to say where I ran a lot about that, but I'm just kind of annoyed about it. We're definitely being played. Like I said, I saw people come at sort of kind of the same conclusions that I've been coming to. Only thing I can do is try to talk to him more as the weeks go, well, not the weeks, the months go by, and try to make sure we're still locked in the group where this cycle is going. Like I said, it was crazy watching. It was like creepy and pissing me off watching. I'll say one of them, and the other guy nobody probably knows, but even seeing Rand talk about his money, but he was going through like 1,000. You can tell all his researchers were working hard, like I said, to come to the conclusion that this man came to in 3 minutes. And he's talking about, like I said, inflation, tariffs, CPI data, RSI, what the monthly does, what Bitcoin, and none of that stuff matters. They're just making it fit. Everything he's talking about, they're making it fit this pattern. The pattern tells what's going to happen. Not Trump, not Jerome Powell, not Warren Buffett, not none of them. They're all just following the pattern. And that's how they know when to sell. And they usually front run it. Last thing not I'm going to say is last thing I'm going to say, but I'm going to read you guys' comments and I'm going to check my notes. But yeah, I said this last week. Nobody said I didn't. I said the end of next week, the market is going to dump. But as I've been saying in my channel, I've been saying, if all of y'all are talking, I'm not knocking traders. There's some real good traders out there. I got high respect for traders. I know I talk about traders a lot, and but if you know the RSIs and you know how to read charts and everybody's figuring out how to do it to an expert level, they cannot leave the same game there for you to follow. If you're figuring out, once you start figuring out the system, as they've been saying since the beginning of time, they got to start moving the goalposts. So if you're starting to figure it out, they got to move the goalposts. That's why you'll see, even when I was talking to him, he was talking about, I saw a lot of traders that I think are actually good traders that are watching crypto and stocks, right? And you would see them talking like, okay, the RSI is hitting this point, therefore this should happen. They're all saying it, and then the pattern would completely ruin everything that they were saying, because it's the pattern that matters. It is not the RSI. The RSI and the charts are no longer, they're probably never been the pattern. But sometimes if they fit enough, it'll make you feel like you figured out the system just enough for you to pump their bags when they need you to pump their bags, and then they can dump on your head or whatever. But yeah, so I said it last week. I said the end of next week, the market is going to dump. But what happens? It starts the beginning of the week, because whoever else knows what I was looking at, they front ran it. Sorry. I know there's a lot of ranting, but I did say 2025. This was going to be the most important thing, was to watching how the market moves. Everybody else is going to spend the rest of their time trying to, farm Patreon members and scam people and all that kind of stuff. And they can do what they want to do. They're still going to be focused on the same stupid crap. I can't change anybody's ways. I'm a little blurry here. I'm probably messing up even more. What am I doing? I probably should have left it alone, right? But yeah, I got to try to pay attention more to what's going on here. And I'm gonna definitely be talking, and it's not like I'm this, it's my guys. Not like I'm just using information I ain't been around, but it's yeah. So I ain't gonna lie, I feel kind of smart for figuring this out, but I feel kind of dumb for not figuring it out earlier. Because if I'm being honest, I didn't feel like it was important. I don't think nobody did. That's why everybody got wrecked. Nobody thought it was important last year to be paying attention to stuff, especially when you got meme coins and all this other stuff running. So anyway, to sum it up, you can see it multiple ways. You can see it as, dang, it's some bullcrap. They played us, and my bags are down. Or you can realize that we still got time to make money. We still got time to make a lot of money. And depending on how you play it, you can make a lot of money. What I will say is what I've been saying before. Um, in my mind, I've realized everybody's not like this. Like I said, there's some people who they only got a certain amount of money they put in the market. For me, it's week by week. It's DCA, whatever income I have, from whatever job I have. And I feel like that's how a lot of you guys do it too. What I would say is just keep collecting it as dry powder. Maybe you don't have to rush in the market. Maybe you don't want to put in right now, but just stack it up. You might have 3 months of money stacked up after a while that you usually will be putting in week by week. But until we get a turn in it, and so I know what you're probably saying next crypto's OD. You say you kind of figured out the pattern. What I've been saying, and I said in the group too, is I don't want to force confirmation bias. I don't want to force it like, ooh, look at me, I'm so smart, I got it figured out, and start running my mouth too soon. I'm gonna keep looking at it, watch how it plays over the next couple of weeks, and making sure that I have it down. Because the way I see it now, there could be a relief rally. I don't want to say soon because that means something different. Let's put it this way: there could be a relief rally, but for the real run that everybody's expecting, the big run, I think we got a little time for it. So you can just use this time to collect dry powder, and I'm gonna try to communicate with him at least probably every 2 days or whatever. Try not to take too much of his time, and try to cross-reference my research with his. Because like I said, people can keep getting stuck in this PvP crap. Like I said in the group, um, you know, this people trying to scam people in the groups trying to scam another group, bro. It's millions of people out here. And as I said in the group, I can't remember how I worded it, but I said there's maybe all 10, 20 million people in the market, however many people's in the market. Maybe all of them can't win, but there's 10 to 50,000 of us that can win. And like the way I think, or when I was thinking as I came into the cycle, there's a way for even groups and Patreons to work together, but nobody wants to do it because most of these guys don't know what the F they're doing anyway, and all they doing is making money off their Patreon members. But there's ways at the beginning of the cycle we all could have worked together and made money together. But people are selfish, people are greedy, they don't care about nobody but themselves, and it's going to end up hurting themselves in the end, if we being honest. But anyway, there's time to make money. You gotta stay focused. Don't get too discouraged. And like as you see now, when people is trying to BS y'all, make sure the sound is still on. Where people's trying to BS y'all, even you got the bigger channels, the bigger Twitter people, everybody saying, we got caught, we got wrecked. Instead of the BS like, no, over here, no, we not, we over here killing it. Like no, bro, we all got smacked because they running these games. But you got to you just got to stay low key, kind of like my boy, and monitor your emotions. Like I always say on the channel in the group, you got to be on monk mode. Bags up, bags down. Just stay focused on what the goal is. Don't get too euphoric. Don't get too depressed. But we still got time to make money. They just running their little games right now. And I can say, I probably ran it too much, but it ain't got. Listen, y'all, it ain't got nothing to do with tariffs. It ain't got nothing to do with interest rates. And I'm pretty sure 90% of people in the market will tell you, oh, you listen, he said that. No, it doesn't, because the macro and this, it does matter. He doesn't know what he's talking about, bro. I'm telling you right now. Because y'all been saying it forever. Y'all been lining up Fibonacci levels and RSIs and tariffs, and y'all been lining this up for a minute. It ain't been working for you. So you should realize by now that it doesn't. You can either choose to keep having confirmation bias and keep sticking to the same thing. Obviously, that's not what it is. They're playing you because I keep saying, if you know the information and they know you know the information, they're going to use what you think you know against you. So people say what they want, man. That dude's crazy, man. I won't listen to him. You don't have to. I don't really care. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna make my money regardless. But I'm just telling you what I see. And I wish I could have been on live stream with him when he did it. Very low key dude. I don't know if he even has emotions. Sometimes he's like a cyborg, but he's a real chill dude. And he just said it so matter of factly, like, yeah, that's that pattern, just like it was nothing. So I'm gonna keep trying to figure this out and seeing if it lines up with what I think it's going to do. and let them play their games of like, okay, here now we're having the FOMC meeting and this is why it pumped or dumped, or here's the CPI numbers and this is, they're going to always give you a false reason why it's happening. But behind the scenes, it's only somebody selling, and it's usually them, or somebody buying, and it's usually them that's controlling the markets. It's just standard market manipulation, and they all know what's going on. So no offense, I have nothing against dude. He's made his money. I'm not a hater, but Warren Buffett's not a smart trader. He just knows stuff that y'all don't know. Um, that's all I got to say. I'm pretty sure this did not come out any kind of way that I wanted it to. Uh, but whatever, man. Um, it's just one thing. Should I wait for dips or buy now? Okay, like I was saying earlier, it depends on what you're buying. Like I did put out a buy alert about something because I was like, I knew what I was looking for out of that one, and I knew it could probably go lower because I said it. Somebody asked me in the group, was like, "Hey, bro, didn't you say you wasn't buying until after this?" I was like, "Yeah, but I'm putting in 50% of this one now, and I know it could go lower." But if I'm looking at it, I'm like, "Hey, this can give a 5, 10x, and that's what I know I want." Then I'm gonna go ahead and buy it at that price. I put 50% in, and I'll see if I put some more in later. But to answer your question, so the I'll say it this way. So the dips that I thought were coming to the end this week, it already did that dump, right? But I feel like it's going to continue for, at least on a time basis wise, it could continue to like range in this area and scare more people out or whatever. Far as Bitcoin itself dumping lower, um, unless it does have another, sorry, I can't even speak this morning. Unless Bitcoin does have another dump at this end this week, that would be crazy. Um, but I feel like it's just gonna scare people out with time over the next couple of weeks. So anywhere in this range, it could be a decent place to buy stuff that's, you feel like it's gonna run back up or catch a wave when the market comes back. Um, but yeah, I feel like we could be sideways for a while, and maybe in the next 3 to 4 weeks have a relief rally. But I don't know, who is this? Oh, how long that could last, because like I said last week in my stream, there's the whole sell in May and walk away that could be a self-fulfilling prophecy, or what if they try to do a Uno reverse and then run it up in May. But from what I'm seeing now, I don't think that's going to happen. I feel like if we have a relief rally, it may be sometime in April, and if you get some real runs on stuff, you might just take that profits and we could sit sideways for a minute, and then, but we're still going to have the big run that everybody's hoping for. But there's plenty of people have said it's not going to be like that, traditional all season like people think, because there's too much saturation in the market, and there's still a bunch of projects to come out. A lot of projects are supposed to come out this month, and as I was saying last week, a lot of people didn't seem like they were scared at all. They was like, "Yeah, we still coming out." Now with this happening now, I wonder, are they going to stick to that? It's going to be a lot of stuff trying to launch at the same time. So you just got to pick the stuff that you have high conviction in, that you feel like could do well. In between time, I'm collecting dry powder like I've been have. I did that one buy alert the other day. But like I said, you still want to keep your eye on the market. You don't want to be like, all right, well, I'm bearish, or I think this is going to happen, or he said it might not be for a while. Nah, because anything can happen. Because what happens is you say, I'm tired of this mess, man. I'm going to take 2 days off. 2 days, you start forgetting about the market. Next thing you know, you took 2 weeks off and you come back and a whole bunch of stuff has happened and you missed it. So I know it's bearish right now, but you got to come in the market, monk mode, look at your portfolio, look at what's going on, and just have a monk tendency. Like, all right, this is not where I want it to be, but make sure you stay in the market. Don't leave for a week and like, that's why I tell you, I take my 2 day, I take 2 days on the weekend. I take my break. So I already got mine baked in, so I don't have to say, "Oh, I need to take a whole 3 weeks off." I rest my mind on the weekends, and whether people know it or not, sometimes I do peek in the group. I just don't say nothing because some of y'all be trying stuff on the weekend, but we don't get to that. But I do take my mental break or whatever here and there, so I'm not too overloaded where I got to take weeks break at a couple weeks break at a time. I wonder if DeFi will make a strong come. I'm sorry, Carmen. I'm gonna skip you. Good morning to you too, Grand Rising and all that good stuff. Stan said, I wonder if DeFi will make a strong comeback. Strong comeback. I mean, I feel like it's going to come back. You got DeFi and you got the DeFi AI, DeFi AI, however you want to say it. Um, I definitely think it's going to come back, especially with, I know, because of what we're talking about, but, TradeFi being in the market and stuff like that, and, real world assets and all that kind of stuff, I feel like it will come back. And crypto is becoming a more, it's becoming a more, mainstream or whatever. So I think DeFi could come back or whatever. You gotta pick the right project. So this is when the sound went out. I know is listen, like I said, people always say you got to check. There's nothing to check, man. Like there's no batteries going out. There's no power going out. There's none of that stuff. It's just it is what it is. Uh, I am down, so I want to think. I'm sorry. I am down, so I don't want to think about it. Just want to remind myself I'm going to lose if I sell. I was not ready enough for this. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And the thing is, here's the thing, even about last cycle, people talk about how euphoric last cycle was, like he was all euphoric, and it was not. It was not. I don't know why, but people only remember the hindsight. Like I say, hindsight is 2020, or it makes you believe what you want to believe. At the end of the cycle, yeah, we made a whole bunch of money, but there was the same periods like this last cycle too. It was the same thing. People just forgot about it because it's over with and they made their money. And that's why the only thing you got to do is like last throughout this or whatever. Like I said, say if you bought and like most people, some of your bags down. The only thing you got to do is not save. Say if your confidence is not there. Nobody's calling you a punk or nothing like that. That's why I said collect dry powder on the side. Whether you collecting that dry powder in your bank account or a second account, or whether you collecting that dry powder, maybe you are taking it out of your bank account and buying stable coins for whenever the market turns. Just do that. If you say cryptozoic saying, hey man, this is a good time to buy right now. We at the bottom. Don't be scared to buy the blood. Maybe I'm saying that and everybody's saying that. You just like, man, I'm not feeling it. You ain't got to feel pressure. Just okay, chill, hold your dry powder on the side. When you see the market turn, because it will. When you see it turn, then you're like, okay, now I feel more confident about it. And it's not, but you don't want to buy the top or like after it's done huge runs. But the market's turning. You seeing it's bearish. I mean, it's bullish. We got all this crazy news coming out. Let's say all the crap that people want to hear. Interest rates dropped to zero. They dropped all the way back to 2%, just like Jerome Powell said. The tariff situation is handled. Uh, China bought 6 trillion of Bitcoin. Just all the bullish news in the world is out, and you realize we're finally bullish. Then you can start buying again. But if you feeling a little like monitor your mental health. You don't have to do nothing anybody tells you to do. But I will say, try to get some discipline and kind of pay attention to the market at least. But I will say a lot of stuff is at good prices. I will say that. But the high conviction stuff, you don't want to be digging at stuff that's 80,000 market cap, talking about, man, when the market turned, this gonna make me rich, because 80,000 could go to 8,000. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Said portfolio so bad, Coinback will ban me for insufficient funds. Oh my gosh, bro. Yeah, I mean it's crazy out here. But like I said, every market has these times. They have these times when it's like this. Even for 2021, it's a great cycle for everybody. Um, yeah, it was a great cycle, but the beginning wasn't, it wasn't all roses and candy. And like I said on my stream, if you I don't know if y'all watched it, but the first year is not really supposed to be anything happening. It's really people just collecting bags or whatever. So not the beginning of the cycle, but the part that's parabolic where people make the most money, it really just started in January. And what's happening now is it's not starting as fast as people want because of the games they're playing or whatever. And so you can't even really count that. Last year, people decided to go crazy on meme coins, and it's probably their fault too. They allowed that to happen. So we're gonna see when the market picks back up. But overall, they definitely playing games. They are definitely playing games, and all they're using is a pattern, just elementary games. Patterns already drawn out, and they just make stuff fit, and they allow all of us to come on our channels and talk about, yeah, the CPI numbers are great, the CPI numbers are bad, inflation is bad, Jerome Powell said this, the FOMC meeting said this, job numbers are down, unemployment is up, unemployment is down. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that, man. They put that in there when they want, which is why, if y'all remember, and at first I felt like it was just me saying it. Then after a while, you see other channels saying the same thing, like, hey bro, I don't think these unemployment numbers are right. Hey bro, I don't think those job numbers are right. Right, because they're forcing you. They're just lying about it. They're just lying. They're like, hey man, I know we just laid off a whole bunch of people, but hey man, the pattern is saying that it should be good right now. So let's just say that the job numbers are actually up. And they just say whatever they want to say, bro. It's right in your face. And the thing is, you're in denial of what you're seeing. You're letting them tell you that you're crazy. Like you're like, no, that doesn't seem right. I don't think. And then they'll remember, what was it like? It was like last spring, and then they came back the month later. It was like, yeah, by the way, we was off by 200,000, bro. How you gonna be off by 200,000? How you, who's counting, bro? How are you gonna be off by 200,000 and then you tell us a month later? But at the time when it fit the narrative and the pattern, you said it was one thing. Then you came back a month later and y'all messed up by 200,000. Everybody was talking about it. That's all. I was talking about Rand, George. Everybody was talking about it. Like, hey, bro, how were they off by this much? Because they were never off, y'all. It just fits the pattern. So you can call it tinfoil hat or whatever you want, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'm gonna try to stay on this. I'm gonna talk to my boy as much as I can. Put a couple of dollars in his pocket for his time, and hopefully, at least the people in our group is going to be on point. But I'm not going to get braggadocious about this, and I'm not going to be doing no "I told you so" or whatever until I feel like I really got this figured out and we really know what we're looking at. Because as of right now, like I said, I only went back a couple of months, and even though his stuff lined all the way up, like I said, the pattern can change. They could. I'm just throwing out this. It could go from a crypto pattern to a trade fi pattern, and we just try to keep up with what they're doing. But right now, I think we got it pretty much on lock. So I'm probably talk to him sometime today and just try to keep up with that. And that's all I really got to say. I don't know how I got to 40 minutes because in my mind this was only going to take about 12. But as y'all know by now, I really know how to talk. So I'm very skilled at talking. Yeah, I wish I would have came across this earlier. I really wish I would have. And as I said, I'm not knocking anybody who's an expert trader, but it can only work until they want it to not work. But y'all, if you want to join the Patreon, it's at patreon.com/cryptozo. I feel like we have some really good plays in there that's gonna, when the market turns and utility starts running, it's really gonna start to go. And I see a lot of questions about a lot of stuff. A lot of tech didn't get. I mean, y'all know this stuff. I'm being honest. Sometimes I don't know why you ask these questions because we all know what happened the first part of the cycle was meme coins, and then AI agents came over with meme coins took over. So a lot of the tech stuff, whether it was great or not, didn't move. And even like stuff like I talk about even Casper. Casper ran all through the bear market, got this whole big community, and then it sat still that whole time while meme coins and AI agents were running, even though it had this huge community. And then it even dumped some. I don't know where is it now. But like y'all know the answers to some of these questions, man. Like tech was not running, utility was not running. It's been memes and AI agents and whatever other fake projects they could come up with, and then people extracting value, like with stuff with the whole ZK casino stuff. And well, I shouldn't wish bad on nobody. Okay, I ain't gonna say that. I hope he learns a lesson though. But his position is about to get liquidated, and all I'm saying is I will be keeping tabs. Is all I'm gonna say. But let me catch up with the rest of this news. All they doing is playing elementary games, and all we can do is try to keep up with it. And I thank God that my channel is small, so I can't say this stuff, and nobody really cares. But anyway, patreon.com/cryptozo, and I'm gonna get out of here.